In today's video, I'm going to show you one simple hack or a different perspective on the UK drone rules that will help make it simple to learn and mean that you will feel genuinely confident about where and how you can fly your drone. Also, later on in this video, we have details of a free download that can help you whilst out flying, so stay tuned for that. Many of the comments on my drone rule videos and feedback I get from social media, DMs, etc. shows me that many drone hobbyists in the UK are still confused when it comes to knowing the rules. This can be a barrier to enjoying their drone and getting as much great footage and pictures as possible. Before we talk about this topic, let me know in the comments below what you fly and how confident of the rules you feel. I'd really appreciate hearing back from you on this particular topic. There is, of course, a decent amount of legislation, policy, and guidance that, if taken as a whole, can be very confusing and certainly overwhelming when all you want to do is capture some drone footage of a family day out or get that cool cinematic shot. Although there are basic rules you need to know, much of which is covered by the CAA drone code, trying to get your head around everything else could well be redundant. You see, the UK drone rules differ depending on what you are flying and the level of certificate you hold. In a moment, I will break this down further and give a couple of examples, but my hack to understanding the UK drone rules and feeling more confident is to look at them from the perspective of what you are going to fly. Don't try to learn everything, but get confident on the basic rules and then those rules specific for the type of drone you're going to fly and the type of flying you want to do. Essentially, the three parts you need to focus on are 1, what you're going to fly, 2, where you want to fly, and 3, what level of certificate from the CAA you want to hold. In terms of the basics, we have a video listed in the description below that explains the base hobbyist UK rules, which is actually in under 8 minutes. Now, 8 minutes might seem a little bit of a strange amount of time, but it was really the shortest I could make it without missing out important information. So once we finish here today, go watch that video to give you some of the basics you need. Then round off that knowledge by reading the UK drone code from the CAA a few times. There's a link in the description to that too. We also have a full walkthrough of the drone code. Guess what? Linked in the description. So you could even listen to it a few times whilst you're driving or doing something else. Now, let's give you a couple of examples of how to simplify your required knowledge above and beyond the essential basics based on a couple of the most popular camera drones. First up, and let's look at the DJI Air 2S, but this would also include any camera drone between 250 grams and 2 kilograms under the transitional period. So where can I fly my sub 2 kilogram camera drone like the Air 2S or Mavic 3 at the moment in the UK? Here on screen, you can see a simple table. The more training you want to do, the more airspace you open up. If you simply register the drone with an operator ID and partial flyer ID, then you're able to fly within the A3 airspace, which basically means far from people. So if you want to capture shots of the countryside and trips out around the UK without flying in congested areas like residential or town centres, then you're good to go. Follow the other basic rules you now have knowledge of in terms of separation and airspace and fly with confidence. For those who want to take more training, you can study for your A2 CFC, which will give you access with your sub 2 kilogram legacy drone, so drones like the Air 2S, etc., to the airspace in congested areas, A2 airspace, such as town centres and residential zones. You still need to keep your separation up to 50 meters of uninvolved people, but even with these larger camera drones, you get access to a lot more airspace. Stay tuned for my explanation for smaller sub 250 gram drones like the DJI Mini 2 or the new Autel Nano Plus. But next, I want to show an example for people who want to fly their drones in parks and leisure spots like beaches, etc. So whether you just prefer to fly your camera drone from parks, or if you're flying FPV quads, but want to use parks within congested areas, then you could take advantage of something called the Article 16 authorization. There are a couple of hurdles to use this, including needing to be a member of one of the organisations such as FPV UK and BMFA. Once you've satisfied the club handbook rules, you can then fly your drone within any spot that is primarily used for leisure purposes within 30 meters separation from uninvolved people. There's a couple of strong caveats that I'd like to make for this particular permission to fly though. Remember that you need to stick to the park or leisure space that you're flying within. You'll not be able to take off from the park and then fly out over town centres or residential areas. Once you leave the volume of the airspace of the park, normal rules apply. Also, I want to stress again that this only allows you to take off from parks and other leisure locations. It does not allow you to take off from any congested location, like something like the A2 CFC would, or perhaps a sub 250 gram drone. We recently sat down with Simon Dell from FPV UK to chat about some of the recent updates to the awesome authorization. So to find out where you can do what, Watch the video linked in the description below and visit FPV UK's website for an excellent explanation too, where you can also become a member there and gain substantial public liability insurance and a whole raft of benefits for just £20 per year. Our third example is an exciting one. Since the existing drone rules came into effect in the UK, they have been focused on risk. So that means that little sub 250 gram drones like this DJI Mini 2 have more freedom with as little hurdles or training requirements than any other drone. It makes sense really, doesn't it? A small drone like this presents very low risk in just about every situation. In order to use this drone in any of the 3 airspace categories, you need to register it and place that operator ID on the drone. Then you need to read the manual. Any flight you take is of course still subject to all the other drone rules explained in the UK Drone Code, which even explains which areas of the rules these small drones are exempt from. But then you can fly in any of the airspace types within the open category. So that includes town centres and other congested areas. In fact, with these tiny 250 gram drones, you can even fly over people with zero separation, but not over crowded people together. Sorry, I had to put that caveat in there. Now, I promised a free download to help you when you are out flying to feel more confident. In the description below, you will find links to some A5 handouts. You can download them and print them out. These were first published for our video, giving tips on how to avoid confrontation when you're out flying your drone. The leaflets are designed to be handed to anyone who approaches you to help explain your flight rules and give them QR codes and links to find out more information for themselves. We've had some great feedback from viewers who keep the leaflets in their flight bag ready for use. There's a couple of different versions down there depending on your drone type. So next time you're working to get your head around the UK drone rules, use this easy hack to focus on the information you need. Base your knowledge on the type of drone you are flying. Then you will be able to easily and confidently learn the rules for that drone and the airspace you want to fly in. If you want to learn more about the UK drone rules, then there is a link in the description to our playlist. And whilst you're here, why not go and watch this video explaining the basic rules for hobbyists in just 8 minutes? Sean out.